Let's do a depth chart deep dive in college football 25. If y'all enjoyed the content so far, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. Appreciate y'all for watching. Appreciate the support. Check out the Temple series. We're going crazy. All right, so before we get into the depth chart deep dive, I think you want to come over here to scheme and really understand what offense you're running, man. Offense and defense, and also a little bit about your play style, man. I know how I like to play the game, so that's going to impact how I set my depth chart. And I also know I like a 4-3 defense, man. I think next year we're going to switch to a 3-4. We're going to switch to something else. But for now, we got the 4-3 rocking, so I'm going to set my depth chart, with that in mind. All right, let's go over here to depth chart. And depth chart is a lot, man. Keep in mind, if you come over here, let's go back out first. If you come over here to red shirt and you decide to red shirt a player mid-year, understand that is going to reset your depth chart, man. Don't add players to the red shirt mid-year. It's going to reset your depth chart. It's going to frustrate you. I figured it out the hard way. I decided to red shirt a guy. It reset my whole depth chart. Me personally, like I said, this depth chart takes me a little bit to do every season. And for me, I'm looking at people's stats, man. I'm not just pinning guys out there. I'm looking at their stats. Sadly, when it comes to the depth chart, you can't see their development, and you also can't see their rating cap. So you're gonna have to do a little bit of bouncing back and forth, looking at their pretty much there. Yeah, you press triangle, you're able to see their proper development tree, and then also coming over here, you can now see their rating caps. Sadly, you can't see that at the depth chart, so you're just gonna do a little bit of remembering, or you're gonna have to bounce back and forth. All right, let's get into actually setting your depth chart, man. Overall in this game is interesting. I don't think it always tell the full story, man. You might have an 83 overall guy. You look at your 78 overall guy, and you actually compare their stats. Sometimes that 78 overall is going to fit what you want to do on offense or defense better than that other guy. So just keep that in mind, man. Sometimes that'll be the case. This case is not that situation, man. Miguel Kafka is our best quarterback. And he's a good player, man. He's an athlete. He's one of them athletes we brought in at the beginning of the year when they was coming in with the high speed, high also high throw power, a little bit of everything. But Miguel is a good player, man. We're gonna start our best player at quarterback, and look at this. He got 99 play action, 99 carrying, 97. Listen, this is crazy. We might need to move him to running back next year, man. Might need to move him to running back. He got 99 carrying, and he's still out here fumbling for us, which is crazy. But nonetheless, just keep that in mind, man. Look at actually players' attributes and how they actually gonna play out on the field. All right, coming over here to our running back room, man. We got James Lewis and Brian Sis. Keep in mind, James Lewis is coming off running back of the year, and had a phenomenal season last year. This season, not so much. Brian Sis, a true freshman that came in as a 79 overall, and he already went up 2 overall, so an 81 during this season. Now, like I said, he's a higher overall than our starter, but when you actually look at these stats, James Lewis, he's a power back with 95 speed. Also, you can look at their physical and mental abilities as well, but 95 speed, he got the strength. Also got the high carrying, which I like. He don't fumble much, knock on wood. We got the break tackle. We also got the trucking, stiff form. He pretty much will do it all. Other than catching the ball out the backfield is not his strong suit. But everything else he's pretty good at, man. Even juke move, spin move is the only thing that's pretty low for him. He even got some route running on him, man. 82 on the route running. Even got the medium route running. He just can't catch the ball particularly well. But looking through this, you might start Brian as your starting running back. And I wouldn't be mad at you, but I think James Lewis is generally the better player in my opinion at this point. And then you look at our third string running back, and for me personally, I'm like, how is he even in the same ballpark as Brian and James? He got the 88 speed, not great. A little bit higher acceleration, more agility, the change of direction. Maybe that's the difference maker. He got the 97 change of direction. Maybe that's what's setting him apart. Carrying is lower, ball carrying vision. Maybe that's also boosting his overall as well, the ball carrying vision. But as me, user in the guy, his ball carrying vision does not matter at all, man. If I'm user in the running back, if I'm playing every game, this stat does not matter. His break tackle is low, trucking low. His stiff form is low. His juke move is low. His His own spin move is low as well. He's an elusive back. I don't know how is that the case. His catching is solid. So, make sure you're looking at these guys' overalls, man, at each position, and not just, playing the best player out there, if you care about your dynasty, the way I do. Also, be conscious of who you have starting at fullback, man. If you just decide to start your backup running back at fullback, his blocking may be dirt. Maybe you don't use a fullback, but for me personally, I like to run the ball, and, I like to have a fullback out there, here and there. I want to make sure my fullback is able to block, is able to, actually go up and hit somebody. And yeah, he got the pass blocking, but we care about the run blocking. We care about the run game. So, make sure you actually putting in, the proper guy at fullback that's going to block. It all depends on what type scheme, what type offense you run. So keep that in mind as well. Now, when it comes to your wide receivers, this is something to keep in mind. What type offense you run, man. Like, for me personally, sometimes my offense, my number one receiver do not see the ball much at times. That's why I make sure I put my number one receiver in the slot, if he's good enough. This situation, Grant Corner is good enough. So he's our number one receiver. Then he's also our slot receiver. Once we get to that point, you'll see he's also our slot receiver because we love to throw the ball in our slot. Love to throw it to the slot, man. Slot gets open a lot. He's shifty. He got some good abilities. Takeoff, layout. He got the speed. His catching is solid, not great. Honestly, not great, but it's solid. He got some good route running, though. Deep route running. Overall route running for Grant Corner. So I put him in my slot. You want to put, someone that's going to excel in the slot. Now, a guy like this, Willie, a true freshman 6'6" receiver with some good speed. I wouldn't put him in the slot. I wouldn't. He's a little bit too big, going to be a little bit too stiff. I view him more as an outside receiver. He got the 50-50 ball, and then also the shorter hands for his abilities. And he got some speed on him. I wouldn't put a guy like this in the slot, man. I'll put, a little bit of a smaller receiver. I'm keeping this guy on the outside, outside the numbers, and, have him go across the middle here and there. And, kind of try to use him like a tight end at times as well, man. But I wouldn't put a guy like this in the slot at all. But David Sanderson with 98 speed, he could also go in my slot. He could. I can't lie. He could go in my slot. This situation, we already got, Grant Corner in the slot. But you also, might want to consider paying one of these lower guys in the slot. Maybe even if you got a route running receiver. I don't have any on my roster right now. All right, as far as tight end, this is an interesting one, man. Especially for me and our team. We moved a wide receiver to tight end, and it's showing in the running game, man. Pass blocking, I don't know why he's elite at pass blocking. 87 pass blocking as a tight end. A wide receiver, an ex-wide receiver moved to tight end is crazy, but his run blocking is dirt. 61 of run blocking, lowest for all the tight ends. Keep that in mind. Run blocking is not going to be great for if you move over a wide receiver, but we sacrifice that because our pass game is that lethal now. Now, making our way over to the O-line. And, I'm not going to cover each position, but y'all have to consider strength. Joel right here, 87 overall. He is the highest overall rated player on our whole team. He's a pass protector. That's why I don't like the pass protector no more, man. It seems like they always come in with the low strength, and the low strength really affects you in the run game. The strength is what determines how long you hold your block. So having low strength is horrible, especially as a left guard. I like to run a lot of inside zone to the left side, and we just constantly get block sheds with our best player on the entire team because he got low strength. His awareness is good. His actual pass blocking is good. Maybe he needs to move the left tackle, but then you look at his height and weight. That's not the height and weight of a left tackle at all. 288 pounds is not a left tackle. Then you look at his run blocking. It's not bad. Run blocking is not terrible, man. Not terrible at all. 80, and then 85 for his stats. Not terrible, but having that low strength really affects that. So you can't just pick guys out there, man. I had to bench Joe our last game because he was playing so bad, kept getting pushed out the way, and had to put a guy in there with higher strength. So just keep that in mind, man. Keep in mind strength, especially for the interior O-line, man. If you have a right tackle, left tackle with low strength, I don't think it's as big of a deal because you typically don't run behind them guys. They're doing a little bit more in the pass blocking. But up the middle, it's tough having a guy with low strength, man. It's tough. Guy Nate, by roster, he is our highest overall right tackle. But I couldn't have two guys starting with a 70 strength. His strength is 74. So I moved over Kyrie Major, have him starting at right tackle for us because I couldn't have 270 strength starting. That would have been crazy. Now getting over to the D-line, man. And this is where it depends what scheme you run. So I'm going to talk about the 4-3. That's what we run over here, at Temple. And we got Jawan right now. I started in DN, got hurt. So we got Jawan in here for now. And he's not going to start for us at DN. He's more of a D tackle, and we figured that out, with playing with him. He don't have high speed, don't have high acceleration, agility, and, he do have 99 strength. It does not play like 99 strength, but he has it. He also have crazy power moves and finesse moves. Block shedding is meh. But he does not produce from the outside. He will not get a sack from the outside. Literally in his career, he has like 2 throughout his whole redshirt sophomore year. Rushing from the outside, he has 2. We moved him to the inside the last 2 games, and he has 2 sacks in those 2 games. So, keep that in mind, man. Look at guys, speed, everything, their strength, and, determine are they an inside or outside player. He weighs 290 pounds, 300 or 6'3". This is an inside guy. We're going to move him inside. But you look at a guy like Trey Stash. I think he also should be an inside guy. He got higher power moves. He's also, weighed a little bit more, 297 pounds. For me, this is also a guy that should be playing inside. Now we come down here to Demarion White. Actually, Demarion White is not even on our roster because he's hurt. He don't even show up in the depth chart, I guess, because he's hurt, which is fine. But we come down here to Marquez Nunn. This is going to be another good example, who does have some high speed, some high acceleration, also agility, and he does have 81 finesse moves, but he's fast, man. Having him come off the edge is going to be better because finesse moves is good off the edge. Power moves is good from the inside. That's everything I've seen from this game. And y'all let me know if y'all feel different, but the power moves rushing from the outside and the low speed, for me, does not work. So I'm always going to put the faster guys on the outside. So that's what we're doing here. And then also for the D-line, we're not considering the rush positions yet. We'll get into that a little bit later, but let's come over here to the D tackle, where I have 2 run stoppers starting as my D tackles, man. As rush D tackles, I have 2 different starters, but I got some big bodies, or I at least want them to be big bodies or try to play like it. They got some high block shedding, pretty much put the highest block shedding as my D tackles, because I want to, get off the block, clog up some lanes, beat big bodies. So that's what we did, and it's working out a little bit better. We inserted Daniel into our starting lineup, who's a true freshman, and he actually has the highest block shedding on our entire team. So I had to put him in, as a true freshman. And he's actually playing a little bit better. So that's good to see. But, stopping the run is always going to be tough in this game, especially on Heisman difficulty. All right, so for me, the linebacker positions, since we run a 4-3 defense, all the linebacker positions are pretty much the same for me, man. I want guys that could tackle. I want them fast, and I also want them to have some pass coverage. I don't have them rushing the passer. They're not rushing the passer. I'm not blitzing too much with my linebackers. So I just want to be able to play coverage and then also come up and make tackles. So that's why I have all guys that can tackle, all guys that's fast, as my middle outside linebackers as well. Pretty much those are things I look for. If I ran a 3-4 defense, obviously I want some pass rushers, as my outside linebackers. All right, now looking at the cornerbacks. And for me personally, I'm a zone guy. I'm not going to say I only run zone coverage, but majority of the time I'm running zone coverage. So we have a true freshman starting, man. He's not the best corner on our team by far. We have a lot of good guys at cornerback position. Just look here. He's a 76 overall. We have 3 seniors, 84 overall, 83 overall, and then we got this guy, Cruz, who's not even getting playing time as an 81 overall. And we have the true freshman, Quincy Riggins, starting because he literally has the highest zone coverage out of all our corners. Literally, the highest zone coverage out of all our corners. And, I just have to do a little bit better of a job, recruiting zone corners. And we did this offseason, or I should say during the season. But up to this point, I did not recruit many corners. So we don't have good zone guys. But now, I decided to pick Quincy in the starting lineup because that's mostly what we run. And he has been phenomenal, man. He is having a freshman All-American season because we're putting him in the position to succeed. If we was running man, he obviously would not start. But we're not running that. We're running zone, and he's playing out his mind. As far as the safety position, I would suggest pitting, a hybrid or a zone guy. Right now, we have 2 run stoppers in that safety, and it's horrible. It's not working out. Low man, low zone coverage, and they're not doing enough in the run game to, offset. 84 hit power for Ty right here, who is our starting free safety. Come over here to our starting strong safety, Jaquez. 82 overall. Man coverage, zone coverage, not great. Catching high, tackling high. 96 hit power. He does not hit anything. I don't know if hit power is like bugged in this game for safeties, but I have yet to see him pretty much do a hit stick. I have yet to see it. So I don't know if it's bugged, but like I said, I would not recommend going 2 run stopper, run support guys in your secondary, in your own safety room. I recommend, if you're going to do 1, have the other guy be zone. I'll probably recommend doing like 2 hybrids or 2 zones, something along those lines, because it just doesn't work out. I say for your kick returner, you kind of just want to pick whoever, man. Whoever you feel like going to give you the best shot. We got Jalen with the 95 speed here. We did have Lindsey, but I feel like he just was never doing anything. So we put Jalen in, and then also for our kick returner, we got our running back. I want to put someone in with high carrying, man. I want to have someone with high carrying. I don't want to fumble, so I made sure to put our backup running back in as our kick return or as our punt returner, so we're not fumbling off punt returns. Now, third down running back is important. This is how we allow Brian Sis, our other running back, to get a lot of carries, because we put him in at third down running back. So he's going to come in on third downs. He's also going to play, depending on the formation, he's going to come in on first down, second down. It really just depends on the formation you call is when, these running backs will come in the game. So I make sure I have, Brian as our third down back. And then we also got James as our power back, so he'll make sure he's in on the goal line, different situations like that. And like I said, for me, as far as the slot receiver, I'm going to put my best receiver at the slot. And my thought process behind that, I want to get on the ball as much as possible, and I love to throw to the slot. So I'm putting my best receiver in the slot, and that's Grant Corner. So even if he wasn't the highest overall in the slot, I'm still going to put him there, as long as he fits the mold. Like I said, I wouldn't put Willie there. That's going to be our 6'6" receiver. He is number 3 right now in the slot. I wouldn't consider putting him actually in that starting slot position, just because he's going to be better on the outside for me. And now we come over here to the rush end. So these are going to be the players that come in when you call like nickel, dime package, one of these, coverage packages where you're going to bring in some extra, D-backs, and you're going to now bring in your rush D ends. And then also your rush D tackles. And then also your sub linebackers will be in as well. But starting off with the rush D ends, like I said, I want to put a guy that's going to get after the passer. So we have Trey Stash starting. He wasn't starting before. Like I said, we did have our starting guy, Demarion White. He's hurt, so he's not even on this depth chart for some reason. And then as our right rush end, we have our linebacker Marquez Nunn with the speed coming off the edge. I love that. Now on the inside, we got Glenn Lawrence. This is going to be our starting right end during, regular downs, but as a rush D tackle, I love him. He's having a great season. He has around like 8 sacks. He got some good speed on him. He also got the power moves. Like I said, I love the power moves from the inside. He also has the strength. And then we got Jawan also playing the rush D tackle. And look at his overall rush D tackle, 88 overall. 88 overall at rush D tackle. That's great. That's great. So he's doing pretty good from the inside so far, and we love to see that. Now for my sub linebackers, right now we got Avery Terrell, who is a great pass coverage linebacker. He got 88 speed. This is my user, man. So I'm going with a guy with good speed. Also, some good tackling. His tackling is not great, but also I prefer some good hit power. I also would prefer some good, zone coverage, all that. And, he's a pretty good player, man. He probably would be even better rushing the passer with that 86, finesse moves. But he also has some good catching. I like that as well. And then we have Keyshawn Flowers, our other middle linebacker, as the other sub linebacker. So the first 2 will play. The first 2 sub guys plays in my defense at least. I would consider putting a safety in here, but we just don't have good safety play right now. If we had some good safeties, then I'll consider putting in a safety as my sub linebacker. But we just don't have that right now, man. Our safeties have not been playing well. I love the way our linebackers playing. So, you know, maybe one day I'm able to get to the point where we could get, you know, a safety in here with some high speed as a sub linebacker, but we're just not at that point yet. Lastly, for the depth chart breakdown, it's cornerback position. We don't have great speed at cornerback. I would love to pit as my slot corner. I would love to pit a guy with good speed, some solid zone, some solid man. We don't have that. So we got Byron Benson in here. But keep in mind, the slot corner is going to be at the line of scrimmage a lot, man. They're going to be in a position to make a lot of tackles. So you probably want them to have some good tackling. So I would suggest, you know, pitting in a safety in this spot if he's maybe a hybrid guy. Because they're going to come in with some tackling. They also going to come in with some speed. And then also typically have some man and zone coverage. So if you have a good hybrid safety, don't be scared to put them in at slot corner. They will have low press coverage. Keep that in mind. But press coverage in this game, I don't run it. You know, press coverage in this game, in my opinion, is an automatic touchdown. Every time I run press coverage, they just run right past my receiver or my cornerback, easy touchdown. So I don't run press anyway, but I would consider paying, you know, a good hybrid safety in that slot corner. All right, man, that's pretty much going to be the video. If y'all learned anything at all, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that. Appreciate y'all for watching. We on to the next one.